Good afternoon, Lisa.
Good afternoon, Andrew. And what have you been up to today?
I've been sitting in my tank of water, watching the spaceships coming in and going out, and I've had a spot of bother with my tash.
Okay.
Blake 7 and the web.
Oh, just the web.
Well, we should start having making up target book novelisation sort of equivalent. So I think it should be Blake 7 and the space web, because that's more exciting than just the web.
The web,
isn't
yeah.
it? When's the last time you saw this?
What, a long while ago?
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, it's better than I remembered, actually.
I vaguely remember seeing it at the time and being a bit spooked by some of the sort of more atmospheric bits.
Yeah.
So let's go through what we've got. So it's just the web.
The web.
It's not a web of fear.
No.
It's not a web of mayhem and intrigue.
No.
It's just
A
web.
web. Yeah.
So we're in a forest,
Yes.
which is full of webs.
It is.
So it's not the web.
No, there's
lots of webs.
But there's one big web.
And there's some balls like out of the prisoner as
Yes.
well, sort of lurking for no adequately explained reason.
For atmosphere.
Yeah. And then in the middle of the woods, in a clearing, there's a base.
There is.
Which appears to have a load of rotating orange lights on it, as though it's like they're having roadworks there or something. Clearly they've had to stuck the lights on to make it look spacey, but it does just look like there's a load of potholes around it or something. Anyway, and there's overlaid all of this because the camera work is quite good. It's sort of zooming, it's sort of handheldy stuff. There's a lot of handheld stuff in this.
Yeah.
It's Michael E. Bryant, of course.
It is.
And you hear this voice sort of overlaid, and then we sort of zoom into the laboratory, and there's a load of flasks and general rubbish chemistry going on involving tubes and measuring cylinders and things like this. And there's two figures sort of led down, a sort of bloke and a lady, in a sort of silvery, sort of suity
Space
thing.
costumes. Yeah.
Frankly, I wrote down they looked a bit gormless because they just sat there, sort of staring into space, aren't they?
Yes.
But there's this repeating voice: "They must come, they must come," and eventually
to us, isn't it?
they must come to us.
Come to us.
Yeah, they must come to us. And eventually, the camera zooms in on Otis Redding and Marvin Gaye, who are in a. Well, no, it's not really. But the reason I say this is that it does so remind me of Vic Reeves and Bob Mortimer. The sketch where they did Otis Redding and Marvin Gaye as little. There was their heads, wasn't it? And little puppet bodies with sort of rod hands, and they lived in a cupboard.
Yeah.
A wardrobe, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And this is just his head in a tank.
Yes.
With a little squiddly body.
Yes.
And the head is Richard Beale, isn't it?
Richard Beale, yes.
Of the Gunfighters and the Ark and various other things. But he's got quite a good voice, hasn't he?
He has.
So,
he does a lot of voice work, doesn't he? So, or did.
Yeah. And again, it's also, we've said Michael E. Bryant, it's also, the effect is rather like the Guardian in Colony in Space, who comes out on his little sort of chair and wiggles his hands about and goes back in again, because that's where he lives. We get quite a lot of shots in this episode of the animation of the Liberator.
Yes.
There are some model shots.
Yes. Well, it's a necessity to have some model shots, isn't it?
Jenna's got a new frock on.
She has.
What do you think of her frock?
It's quite nice. It's still got the bit. Actually, Callie's top's quite. Obviously, whoever designed the clothes in the Liberator likes putting sort of bits at the top.
They're sort of shouldery bits.
Shouldery bits, yeah.
It's all got multicolours there.
It has. It's sort of
It's more sort of dressy and swooshy.
It's a dress rather than a top and trousers.
Blake's asleep.
He is.
And she phones him up basically.
Yeah, she calls him.
And you get to see Blake's chest.
Yes.
Something for the ladies,
yes,
Lisa.
Yes.
Did you appreciate the chest?
It was all right.
He wasn't all topless though, so he wasn't doing a full Kirk, but you know, he was showing you what.
Yes. One suspects his belly might be hanging over
He was showing you a range of the goods, if not the full goods.
Okay.
But yeah, the speed's increasing. What do you think of Blake's bedroom? It's a bit sparse. What you see, isn't it?
Well, there isn't anything. They didn't take anything with them on the London, so there's no personal belongings. Everything they have comes from the Liberator.
So it's not like they've got a load of ornaments that they can put up on a shelf. He hasn't got a load of Wade Whimsies or something around his...
Or a wicker chair, or...
around his sort of bed or something. Not around his bed, his bedside table or something. He hasn't even got a tease made, has he? That was the big thing in the 70s.
Yes.
Yeah, you'd win that on things. Callie's up to something mysterious. and she was fiddling with some controls.
She was.
And sort of Blake comes into the sort of flight deck, still doing his. Still
he could
doing
have done his
himself
top up, couldn't he? Before he got there.
I bet he got halfway there and thought, no, Jenna would like a look, so I'll undo it again, and then just come in.
Just come in and casually do it back up
and she
again.
takes no notice.
Yeah, she didn't get nobody cared.
But I just wrote sexy Blake. Yeah. We're at speed standard by 3, whatever that means, and building, and they're accelerating. This has been deliberately induced.
Yes.
Villa's got a new frock as well, hasn't he?
Yes, yes.
And
I did see him described somewhere as looking like a butcher. I'm not quite sure.
Butcher?
Yeah.
Okay. What, leather apron or something?
I suppose so, yeah.
He's not Jack the Ripper, is he?
I don't think so.
Yeah. He says to Callie, does she like his new togs?
Outfit, yes.
And she smacks him in the face.
She does.
More handheld.
Yes.
Standard by 4.
And building.
Zen is unhelpful when asked about the fault.
Nothing unusual there.
But he says involvement is not permitted.
Yes.
So he really is a load of use.
He is.
Meanwhile, Avon is fiddling.
He is.
Doing some private research, he says. And Callie sort of comes and has a look.
Yeah, and she's sort of wearing olive green, isn't she?
And she asked him to show her his detector links.
Yes.
Where
are the detector links? Because Blake's called him to the flight deck.
Yeah.
Not Callie, just Avon.
But yeah, she's interested in his work. And they have a bit of a look, don't they? And I just went, ooh. But apparently there's something to do with the PN overrides, whatever those are supposed to be. And they're on standard by 6.
And building.
And Callie does some more fiddling and puts her hand in the detector links and gets zapped for trouble. So the forward detectors are now out.
Are disabled.
So they're just running blind and getting faster.
Yes.
And they realise it's Callie that's done this.
Because she asked him about it.
Yeah. And I just put mild jogging down the corridor.
Yes.
Because the set's not huge.
I can't really run very fast.
You can't really get any speed up. So there's just sort of...
Yeah.
Oh, it makes the sofa jump. Makes the sofa squeak when I do that. Gan's in his bedroom, lounging about as though he's some sort of
Roman emperor.
Roman emperor. Yeah, he hasn't got any grapes. He should have had some grapes. Gan has not got his chest out.
No.
So clearly only Blake is allowed to get his man chest out.
He's the lead.
Yeah. Is that the rules then?
Yes.
Okay. More handheld stuff. Callie's got a gun. They must come, she says. And she's got burns on her hand now.
Yes.
Up to standard by 7. But yeah, they sort of work out, something's up with Callie. She's at the controls.
Well, they get to the flight deck and Jenna says it's not Callie.
Yeah. They're at speed standard by 8.65 and Gan sneaks in.
He's just really quietly for such
considering
a
the size of him,
man.
he's quite good at sneaking this time. And he just clobbers her.
Yeah.
Back to the base in the woods, briefly. We see the head in the jar again. Callie's having a bit of a turn, isn't she? So I love the way that one slap from Jenna brings her to her senses.
Yes.
So the power of a woman's slap, isn't it? Yeah. And there's a little bit of voiceover, sort of telepathy saying thank you. I needed that. Or perhaps you liked it. I don't know.
Perhaps you did.
Okay. There's an explosive device on the power channel. Have you ever watched the power channel?
I've never watched the power channel.
That's a dreadful channel.
Yes, it is.
But Zen won't help.
No.
Because there's nothing to repair, because it hasn't gone off yet.
No, until it explodes.
There's nothing to do.
There's nothing to do.
And he's not going to sort of preempt crew activity, basically. No. So he's not even going to... I don't know what they expect him to do. He's not like sort of get off, roll over there and take it off, is he? Or like a big claw comes out and like removes it. What's he supposed to do? It's physically there. Somebody's got to go and move it, lazy lot. They're up to standard by 10. Blake sort of... so's Blake. He's like... Although he nearly slips arse over tit on the floor, slides.
The corner and slides. Yeah.
You see, he should have better grips on his shoes for his studio floors. But there's a big bang, and Avon saves Blake from the big bang, doesn't he?
He does.
And they're both surprised by this. Avon says it's an automatic reaction. He might not have done it if he was thinking about it, possibly. But. At the base again, the lady and the gentleman. We must make ready. They're now in an uncharted star system,
Yes.
and they've got their speed down to standard by 0.5. And there's a gravitational field because they reckon they're close to a planet.
Yes.
And Zen finally is helpful, pointing out that they've got forward vision.
Yes.
If they want to look out the window, they can, basically.
Yes.
Love the fact it's not like they wind the window down and have a look,
No,
but it's
he
almost
puts
like
it up
that.
on the forward screen.
Yeah.
doesn't
Why
he?
this isn't on all the time,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like you've got to remember to turn it on to have a look.
Yeah.
You know, at least in Star Trek, the screen's on all the time, but. You know, it's those then. I can put the screen on, or I can do other things, but I can't do both.
Gotta do both.
Yeah.
Yes.
And outside the window, outside there's a space web,
There is.
or a web in space.
And it's sort of pinging on the
Yeah.
hull, isn't it?
And they wonder whether there might be a spider. That's no. Good job there isn't actually, because
No.
that would have got.
It would have been a rubbish.
But it's a bit
spider.
like the Web of Fear as well, with the TARDIS being
Yes,
trapped
the TARDIS
in the web.
gets trapped. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
so it's a little
It's not dissimilar.
a bit like that. Villa sort of goes off with Callie.
Go to get Callie.
To get her. Avon and Gan are looking at the teleport controls. Avon's sort of having another fiddle with like stuff, and
He's trying to get the detectors back online.
Yeah. But he sort of presses he plugs the wrong thing into the wrong hole, and
it blows her.
the whole lot
up.
of teleport controls just frazzle basically. You'd have thought there'd have been a fuse or something.
You would have thought so, yeah.
But
perhaps he bypassed
it's a
the
bit
fuse.
wasteful, this, you know.
Yes.
The whole lot goes up, but on the other hand, you've got the auto repair system,
Yes, we can do it very quickly.
which just puts it all back again. I've just put Gan's gob is open at this point. Avon says they could make a fortune with this sort of technology. He also says there will come a time when Blake won't be making the decisions.
Yes.
Callie's feeling better, which is nice.
Yeah.
And there are more webs and a proper model shot finally. But then Jenna has a funny turn.
She does, because they're going to try and get out of the gravitational pull, but Jenna gets taken over.
And I just call it mad staring eyes.
Yes.
Like Rasputin.
Rasputin, yeah.
A mad monk with a mad staring eyes. But she starts to speak and there's a voice, which is not her voice.
Yes.
And it's Richard Beale
It is.
saying, "We shall meet shortly. Your ship is trapped. And even the Liberator will not be able to escape."
Yes, because it will take 160 hours to free themselves and only have energy for under 100.
But down on the base, they require assistance, and they will give them a landing position. Callie wonders if it's one of the lost, and I'll speak about that later.
Yes.
But it's the first of many the legends of my people things, isn't it? You get a few of these.
Yeah, a few of those. There's lots of legends.
They were cast out from the R&R, weren't they? Callie put some headphones on that are very 1978,
yes,
aren't they?
They've got those orange sort of...
The fluffy bits.
They're not fluffy, it's just...
Where's my headphones? Hang on.
Well, they're not like those. They don't have penguins on to start
I
with.
can put my headphones on.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's sort of like that, but they're orange.
Yeah. As if people didn't know what headphones look like. But they're 70s headphones. Right. Jenna's okay again. There's a signal beam from down below. And everybody now is very competent at pressing buttons, aren't they? They all know exactly what to do.
Yeah, they don't press the wrong button by
Well,
mistake.
almost.
Yes.
Because when they try to escape,
They're going to use the neutron
Villa's
blasters.
excited about using the neutron blasters. He presses the button and nothing happens,
Yeah.
because Zen points out that the neutron flare shield has not been activated.
Yes.
Again, you'd have thought that would have been automatic.
Yes.
But you have to press one button before you can press another
Yes.
button.
Yeah.
Zen's programming is a bit annoying sometimes.
It is, yeah.
But they fire, they make a hole in the web, Villa goes, "I did it! Hooray!" And then the hole repairs itself.
It
'cause
does,
Otherwise it would have been a short episode.
It would. Yes.
Power banks 1 and 2 are already exhausted, the power drain is too great, and Blake gives up basically.
Yeah, it's, Zen says it'll take 98 hours, but every time they use the neutron blasters,
It'll use up
reduces
another
it by,
3 hours,
So
yeah.
it reduces it by 3. So.
There are some little creatures in the wood.
There is.
And I said they sort of look like sort of albino sort of miniature Zygons a bit.
They do,
because of
they've
their
got
heads.
the ridge, haven't they, on the back?
The way the heads sort of
Yeah.
work, and they sort of the flappy bit at the back.
Yeah.
to be honest, I mean, they've made about 6 or 7 of them. I don't know how many quite. They look a bit raggedy, as though bits of skin keep falling off. Yeah. But maybe you can explain it by their origins.
Yes,
they are a little ratty.
They are
actually.
artificial creatures, aren't they? Created creatures.
But anyway,
there's quite a lot of them. I mean, the fact there's only 6 of them, but it's very cleverly shot to make it look like more, isn't it?
But yeah, the bloke in the tank we see again, and the creatures are trying to get into his house, basically, aren't they? I'm going to say house, laboratory, really.
They're banging on the windows.
Several have got rocks, and one of them's got his weapon in his hand.
Yes, got his axe.
At the teleport bay, Callie wants to come down, but Blake goes down on his own in the end.
Yes, because he says that she could be taken over easily.
The creatures see Blake arrive. I won't give their names yet. If you've seen the episode, you know what their names are. Yes. But you get to see more webs and balls in the forest.
And one of them throws a spear at him.
Yeah,
doesn't it?
Spear on Blake's hand. Nasty looking bit of makeup.
It grazes his hand.
Real proper. It's worse than even when Martha scratches me.
Yes.
There's my scratch from Martha. It's getting better. That was just she fell off when she was loving them. But yeah, Blake goes to the base, and one of the little chaps comes up to him and says, "Help us, please."
Help us, please.
In a really, really high pitched voice, but then he is only wee. But he gets tasered by the bloke from the base.
He gets killed, doesn't he?
Now, do we know the names of these people? Yes. Living in the base, we should say. The bloke is Novara, played by Miles Fothergill, also known as SV7.
Yes, and you can sort of tell it sometimes.
You can tell.
Yeah.
Richard Beale is the head, playing Samon, and what is it? Anya Marson playing Gila, the lady, and her write-up on IMDb, her bio is quite amusing. And I'd just say look it up, because it's very complimentary to her.
It is. Whoever wrote it likes her.
Very much so, yes. But yeah, look her up. So yeah, they go into the base, and Blake gets told it was only a decima. It sounds like the first line of a song, doesn't it? It was only a decima. Do 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 do. No, Blake gets a bit of steak put on the back of his hand, doesn't he? Because they've got a little bit of steak that lives in a box.
It does. It lives in a petri dish, doesn't it? Sort of kind of thing.
And it's an enzyme culture for tissue regeneration. So it wobbles about on his hand, sort of as a slurp, doesn't it? And then it falls off, all crispy, and then Blake's hand is all right.
It is.
But yeah, the Decimers want to destroy the base, and they've got to be suppressed. Blake says he's never seen anything like that repairing thing on his hand. Apart from the auto repair systems in the Liberator that we saw 5 minutes ago. But
we can see them, so you know.
The web it's in space is a sort of fungus made out of silica, and it can be cleared via a beam. That's lucky.
It is.
They don't have to go up there and get the flit gun out or something and get rid of it.
Flip gun?
Flit gun.
Okay.
Flit was a thing for getting rid of flies. Like one of those.
Okay.
You look up flit guns later.
Okay. I won't.
No. Alright. But the base runs off of paracells. Well, they're going to put up a fungicide then.
Yes.
Ever been to the fungicide?
No.
No. There's 2 paracells.
Yes.
They're just red tube things.
Yes.
One of which is empty.
Yes. And the
and
other
one of which is
nearly
empty. So they need the power to survive in the base and to project the fungicide via the beam, the space beam, to clear the web. So until they get new power, Blake's trapped, basically.
Yes.
There's more banging on the windows from the Decimers, and the one that got tasered, his mates turn up and sort of carry him away.
Yeah.
And you get a shot of Blake looking at real close up of one, which is I just put sadness in his eyes because he's all sad that he's.
There's a tear, isn't there?
Yeah.
There's a tear in his eyes.
Yeah, or he's been peeling onions or something. I don't know. Oh, that was my stomach. That's right. They chuck some more rocks and.
He winces every time.
Blake goes. Whoa! I think he's scared the glass is going to break.
I don't know if that's scripted or if that was just Gareth Thomas.
I don't know. But Gareth Thomas is in the studio.
Yeah.
They're chucking the rocks on film,
I
aren't
know,
they? So
I know.
unless like somebody's really chucking rocks at him.
Possibly. I don't know.
There's Michael E. Bryan going, we'll have to do it for realism.
Yeah.
Mind yourself. Woo. But yeah. But yeah, once they were not aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
Avon's told to sort of get 2 fully charged power cells.
Plutonic cells.
Plutonic. I thought you said plutonic.
I thought you said plutonic, and then they said flutonic, and I was like,
Well, that means it runs on flutes then.
Yeah.
If you like play the flute long enough, it gets charged up. I don't know. The detectors are repaired. Well, I don't know. Terry Nation just makes up words.
Yes.
The detectors are repaired, and there are 5 pursuit ships.
Yeah, I love the fact
At
they
extreme
They put them
range.
on the screen,
Yeah.
and they've got the little Federation side just to show you their Federation ships.
Zen's made some little emoticons.
Little graphics.
Yeah. Zen's been up all night going, oh, what shape could I make these? Oh, I know. Zen's got his little paint pot out.
Yeah.
But they're not to tell Blake yet because it'll weaken his bargaining position. The Decimers have a bit of a conflab.
Mm-hmm.
We get to see some of the more science tubes and flasks and things.
Mm-hmm.
But all this is to do with a genetic engineering thing to halt the aging process and make animal machines.
Mm-hmm.
The Decimers are one of the results of this, and they have 10 functions.
Yes.
What functions? Sing, dance, play the flute, I don't know. Hence the name Decimers.
Yes.
Decima, 10.
Mm-hmm.
Originally they had 4 functions. Quadmers? That's a dreadful name, isn't it?
It is.
But yes, but they're going to be wiped out, and Miles Fothergill, it is Miles Fothergill, and his friend say we are also genetically engineered.
Yes.
So we can do what we like. We are operated by our creator. And then the lady one does a voiceover bit from Richard Beale. I notice in the background there's a load of 1960s sort of dials and switches, the sort of stuff you see in like Dalek Master Plan.
All right, yeah.
So although that's in the background though, as like don't show it because it looks too old. But yeah, it's some of that equipment you always see in BBC stuff.
Yes, it gets recycled.
Blake's finally told about the pursuit ships, and Blake goes and has a goz at the bloke in the tank, and he confirms we were from Aaron. Now, we've picked up Callie last week, and now we get an Aaron-based story. Yeah. So, is it just all a coincidence?
Yeah.
Because how far away were they from the planet when like the influence happened? Or were they already in contact with Callie last week?
Don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. It just seems a bit coincidental. The moment you get Callie on board.
You get somebody from Aaron. Yeah.
Don't know. I suspect it's just entirely a coincidence because it's not the sort of thing Terry Nation probably even thought about. But I just wrote that was a coincidence. Originally there were 6 of them, but there are now 6 minds in one dinky body.
Yes. Huge head. Teeny little
he's not a huge head, he's just Richard Beale's head
size.
Well,
alright, normal size. It's a huge head compared to the body.
Yeah. It would be funny if he had a moustache that fell off, though. I'm having a spot of bother. The Decimers are going to be destroyed with radiation from the cells, and Blake doesn't like the sound of that. No. And again, like if you'd just been a bit quicker, this wouldn't have happened. Avon's been sent down 10 seconds ago by Villa.
Yes.
I don't know. But
then there'll be no jeopardy.
Yeah, I like the way Blake says Avon's a friend.
Yes.
Yeah. First time he said that?
Probably.
Possibly. So with help from t'other 2, they go out and look for Avon. The Decimers are really good at hiding behind trees, even if they're like wider than the trees, because the lady one just walks past a tree and then the Decimer pops out, doesn't it? Hello, I'm here. No peripheral vision, I wrote. No. More handheld shots onto Blake as Avon approaches. Yes. I think you're meant to think it's a Decimer or something, but it's too high up for a Decimer. If it was a Decimer, all you'd see would be the backs of his knees.
Well, he'd have to be like that, wouldn't he?
Unless he was on stilts.
Could be.
Could be on his friend's
Yes, because
back
there could be two Decimers
with
on each
a
other's
long
shoulders.
coat on
Yeah.
and a bowler hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, the parasols are hidden in some shrubbery.
Yes.
That's a bit pointless because they immediately get them out again.
They do, yeah. I don't quite, yeah. Because Blake
says he didn't bring
bargain.
them.
No, Avon says he didn't bring them.
Oh yeah. But Avon gets zapped on Minnie on the lowest power, which stings a bit, and they get the cells out again. Then they go back to the base, and which open arse one was it left the door open?
I think it's meant to be
Put
Blake.
the wood in the hole.
I don't know. Whoever's last through the door.
I'm going to watch that shot again now.
Yeah,
to see
it's whoever's last through the door. Unless Blake sort of nips back and opens the door. I honestly do not know.
You'd think a base would have space doors that go whoosh, whoosh, or they were even like Van Glyn doors that go so you know. Or you have one of those weights that you have above doors that closes it on a spring. Don't just leave the blooming door open.
But that's the whole key.
I know,
to the
but
end of
it's
the story.
useless.
It's
For a space base with like pothole lights on it, it's like really badly designed.
I mean, in Liberation, in book Liberation, I think they think that Blake does it. So maybe he sort of nips back and opens the door.
Yeah.
I don't know. The door's open. Maybe they're overexcited and forget to close the door. It's like every time the Doctor forgets
Maybe
to close
there's a
the
bit of
TARDIS
wood that
door.
he's just wedged in it or
Yeah.
something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the Decimers get in the base.
Yes.
And it's just Decimers attack now,
Yes.
isn't it? As they slowly manage to destroy most things when they can do it.
Yeah, because they put the plutonic cells in, don't
Yeah.
they? My Fothergill does. And he's going to irradiate them and they will attack.
Yeah.
And then you get these really nice handheld shots.
Yeah,
from
I just
points
put
of view.
handheld. Yeah. The beam's projected and the web is cleared, which is good. And I just put flasks everywhere now.
There's stuff everywhere.
As they
They're
get measuring cylinders and smash them.
They're just knocking stuff over randomly, aren't
Yeah.
they? So, but it does take them a few
with
times
a load
to get
of
rid
high-pitched
the table.
screaming,
Yes.
some of which is so high there's little lines on the picture.
All right,
Like microphony or microphony or whatever it's called, you know, when guns go bang in Doctor Who. And the Richard Beale starts screaming and his head goes back too much. You know, you can see the hole that he's had to stick his head through. But yeah, the web is cleared. And then there's the Decimers are trying to knock the table over, aren't they? And it takes ages. I'm going, oh, blimey, it's heavy. Hang on, out the way. You know, I can't do it there. Move it round a bit. You know, to you, to me. It really is. And then Miles Fothergill and his friend just get reduced to skulls, don't they? And they kick their skulls about for a bit. They play a bit of footy. There's no other bones, I notice.
There is some
No, they pull his
hands.
head off, and there's no neck. Was there hands? No, I didn't see
I
him.
think it was hands, and there was a sort of a stump kind of
A stump?
thing.
Where?
In the suit.
Where was the stump?
In the suit.
Where?
Where
How
was the
far
neck?
up? Oh right, I think not halfway up.
No.
I don't know. I don't know what like space aliens have for bones. But yeah, the table goes over eventually. They teleport up. The web lifts. And it literally does lift.
Yeah.
Because I can imagine Ian Scoon sort of over the top of it lifting it up because it all goes up. It's like it's on a little sort of rack and he's lifted it up. He must have spent ages putting all the strands up. So.
Yeah.
And yeah, they because the pursuit ships are still around. I just put pursuit ships. Well, they shoot, so they're pursuit ships. And because they're still around, I wrote, run away, and they run away. Blake and Avon have a bit of a scene, just about how... I don't know what it was about, really.
Well,
it was like,
I think Avon was cross because Blake put their survival at risk for little weird things. But Blake says that all life is worth it, or something.
And Avon says something about change is inevitable. And off they go, away from the space web.
Yes, for more adventures.
For new adventures. But I didn't mind that. That was all right.
No, it's better than I remembered.
I think the atmosphere of it helps.
Yes,
it
it's
could
very
have been
well
very,
shot.
very bog standard,
Yeah.
but I think Michael Bryant's making a bit of an effort to make it look a bit unusual.
Yeah.
Just with the set dressing, it's outside more because although it's clearly an English wood that they've stuck some like
stuff in.
It's almost like the stuff you'd put on your Christmas tree, isn't
Yes.
it? Yeah.
Yeah.
But just on a slightly larger scale. And again, did they manage to get rid of it all at the end of the day's shooting, or were there
Possibly not.
bits of web hanging about for weeks afterwards,
possibly not.
like Wurzel Gummidge in the snow? You know. So I can imagine the park ranger or whoever it was, the parkie coming in.
They're coming and going, oh, that
Look,
BBC
webs
been here
everywhere.
again.
They're not coming back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't mind that. That was quite fun. I think, as you say, possibly better. But I vaguely remember seeing it again. It's more the imagery of in the woods and the space web and the little bloke in the tank. It's the weird images that stick in your head more than anything. You know, plot wise, it's fairly mundane. But the whole thing about Callie and the hour and a half, you know, sets up for later.
Yes.
So not too bad at all, really.
No.
Okay. And we'll see you again for the next one.
Yes. Seek, locate, destroy.
Oh. Bye bye.
Bye.